Hi, Mark. We're live.
How you doing,
So
Val? Thanks for letting me be part of your adventure today.
it's always an adventure here at the Huckleberry Press. So, hey, everybody. It's Val Mohney, editor of the Huckleberry Press, and I'm here with Mark Losh. And Mark, is your title CEO or Executive Director of the West Plains Chamber?
The title is CEO, but I've never had a title pay a bill yet, but I'm listed as a CEO.
Got it. So, I hope it's clear now that the Huckleberry Press likes to focus on people who make a difference, and Mark Losh definitely has made a huge difference in the West Plains community since he showed up about 18 months ago. And we're wanting to talk to him now about some of those changes, what the focus is for the West Plains, some of the things the chamber has going on. So really excited to talk to you, Mark, and thanks for being here.
Excited to be here, and I'm always happy to support the Huckleberry Press. You also are doing great things, not only in the West Plains, all over the Eastern Washington. So congratulations.
We're doing our best, and thank you. So I'm curious on a organizational level what the chamber has going on, and I'm curious on a personal level either what you have going on or what you've learned in the last 18 months. But starting with an organizational level inquiry, what is the West Plains Chamber working on? What are you excited about? And what do you want people to know is happening with the chamber?
Great question. Let me see if I can unpack that because there's a lot there. As you know, when I got here, the focus of this chamber was connect, engage, and grow. If it doesn't do those things, we're not going to do it. And I feel our responsibility is give you ways to connect, help you engage, but you have to do growth on yourself. We can't make your cash register ring, but we can give you the opportunity and the tools to be connected and engaged. This was a fun little chamber that had many events pre-COVID. And then COVID came along and the state of Washington shut down all events. And this little chamber with an unbelievable strong membership had to close the doors for a while as far as events. There was nothing they could be doing. Towards the end of COVID, the chamber decided let's get a director because they had to lay off their previous director because of the shutting down. And let's reopen. Let's get relevant back in the West Plains. I had been in Missoula for the past 5 years, helping the Missoula chamber go from an initiative-driven chamber, from a event-driven chamber to an initiative-driven chamber. And I saw this opportunity. I grew up in Deer Park, so I said, I'm going to go home and let's see if we can do it again at the West Plains. I was greeted with open arms, accepted widely by many, many people. It's been a wonderful experience. And we began the transition in August of 21 to become an initiative-driven chamber. The first thing we had to do was get a new operating system, new back-end system, get a new website up. We had to rebuild and look like a real chamber. And it was almost a year ago that we launched our website. So it took about 6 months. And then initiative work, that was the easy part. There are many great initiatives to work on in the community. People might say, well, what is initiative work? The West Plains is the fastest growing light industrial area in the state of Washington. In some places, we've been called in the top 10. Businesses coming to the West Plains, for some too fast. But our communities, if they aren't healthy, if they're not safe, if they're not vibrant, and they're not growing, we don't have a place for all of our workers to work, eat, and play. So our chamber focus initiatives, because of this region, is focusing on community needs and community issues. In fact, we just launched on our website a brand new page. That's our initiatives and community page that outlines what we're working on, and that's going to be a living page to keep you updated. But we're looking at things like human trafficking. We're looking at fentanyl. We're looking at generational crime through the Alliance Safety. I'm working with the Cheney School District on what new buildings, facilities they might need on a board they put together. I'm working with the West Plains Transportation Tag Group on what do we need for transportation needs in the West Plains to lobby against the county. I'm working with the city of Airway Heights that really desperately needs a new fire station. I'm working with the city of Cheney that's investigating getting a new pool and more things. That's initiative work, and we're excited to do it. And because of that, folks are looking at joining the chamber not to see what can they get out of it. It's what can we do the West Plains region to get healthier, and we're having great success. That was a long answer. Sorry.
It was a big question, and I had no idea that you had so many connections to so many different initiatives and community changing projects as you do. That's remarkable.
We're trying to get the word out more of what we're doing. The old adage in the chamber world is if you don't tell everybody what you're doing, they assume you're doing nothing. And it's really hard to toot your own horn. It's hard to say, hey, we're doing this, but we're trying to do that. And we're going to be focusing more on that with our newsletters and with our social media, and try to tell more of the story of what we're working on. That's why we got the page up recently. And there's even other things we're working on that I can't talk about yet. So there's no limit to how many initiatives that are out there. We just have to do things that we know are going to work well and fit within our workload. As you know, we have a massive staff of two, myself and the superstar Deanna Williams, who is the operations director. So we have to make sure if we take on something, we can actually make a difference. Sometimes people will take on a project and it's so big, they can't make a difference. So we look to make sure we're doing something, or we're picking a project, or we're working on an initiative that we can actually move the ball down the field with support of the community.
Right on. Speaking of community, I think it's called your community engagement series. Would you like to talk about what your community engagement series is?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. So everybody in Eastern Washington lives in or came from a small community that has one weekend that they celebrate. I grew up in Deer Park, and we have Settlers Picnic every year, and that's where the class reunions are, and that's where you have the parade downtown and the street fair and all those kinds of things. So Cheney has one, Medic Lake has one, Airway Heights has one, Reardon has one, Davenport has one. The Air Force Base has a celebration this year that's a STEM program where they're bringing kids from all over Eastern Washington to learn about all the different STEM programs through the Air Force. Eastern has homecoming. So all of these communities have this celebration. But all of these little communities, they have a really tight budget. They don't have a marketing arm. Many of them don't even have a social media or marketing person. So they have their little events, but no one really knows about it. So the community engagement series is the chamber taking a hold of those weeks of those communities, and we're going to tell the story. And we're going to tell the story in depth, not just, hey, come out to Airway Heights Days or come out to Cheney Fest or Mayfest. Come out. But here's what's really going on. So we're going to take an entire week, and on Monday, we're going to talk about the history of that community. On Tuesday, we're going to have interviews with leadership of that community of what are you working on right now? What are the issues? What's going good? What's going bad? What do you need to work on? And that's going to be a deep dive interview, almost like a 60 minutes type interview, or a deep interview like we're doing right now.
Right.
Wednesday is all about the events itself. So what are the events? Where do you park? What's going to be there for food? Where is there access? All those kinds of things. Thursday is all about the businesses of the community, chamber members or not. It's celebrating the entire community. And then Friday is kind of a cleanup day. So we're going to dedicate our entire marketing arm to be the voice of that community for an entire week, and do that for all those different communities: Cheney, Medic Lake, Airway Heights, Eastern, Davenport, Reardon, Fairchild, and the Armed Forces Lilac Parade. And we have businesses that are sponsoring that activity to help give back to the community. So I know that's a long breath. Watch on our website for more information, and watch us on social media and you hear about it. But I just think it's the right thing to do to celebrate our communities.
Speaking as a publication that's dedicated to celebrating the communities, I cannot agree more. And I just wanted to say, it makes a lot of sense to me that you tell people what you're doing. I think there is a little mystery for people who aren't directly involved in a chamber, like what does a chamber do? And what is a chamber going to do for me? So I think you making it clear what you guys are doing is going to set you apart and give people an opportunity to engage. So I guess I just want to say, don't worry about tooting your own horn. I see everything you're doing as being a service.
Well, thank you for saying that. And you're going to have a big role on the community engagement series because, as I said before we started filming, I'm going to be sending you a lot of content to help share. So it's going to be very much a collaborative effort between us all. The chamber of old, where you have events and you pay to come to these events and you go to networking, you meet with people, and that's it. You got to change or they're going to die. You've got to give new business generation folks a reason to engage, more than just showing up to stand in a room and talk with people. And so that's why I think this community engagement series, giving back to the community, getting involved in initiatives, you have to have a role in the community to make it a better place to live and work. And that's where the Chamber of Future is, I believe. And it's working. We're at 87 new members in 16 months.
Wow. Congratulations. And it speaks volumes to what you yourself have done. So before we sign off, what has working in the West Plains meant to you personally? What do you get out of it?
That's a great question. At the end of the day, to know that talking to a single business member and in a conversation, you saw the light bulb go off on their head, and you've seen this before, and they get that expression of, I hadn't thought of that. My role is not to be a champion or hero of anything. I'm just a guide. And if I can help the heroes of business stay on their path and get back on a path, that's what's exciting to me. To see leaders of 3 communities get up and say, well, if we're going to survive, all 3 of us have to work together. The mayors of Cheney, Medic, and Airway Heights last week. To see that collaboration starting to take place, that's what excites me. We're making a difference. And maybe it'll be a better place to live a year from now, and then another year from now, and then another year from now. So it's hard to answer that.
I think your answer was clear, and I acknowledge you for the difference that you make. And I think that you're leaving when you talk about year to year, you are leaving most definitely a tremendous legacy. So way to go. And thank you for making the difference that you do.
Well, there's a lot of work to do. We're just getting started. What's the famous movie line? I'm just getting warmed up. So a lot of work to do, but we have to do it as a region. So all those that are working with us, thank you. Those that are interested, check out our website. You'll learn all about us.
Yeah. What is your website?
westplainschamber.org.
westplainschamber.org.
Just
so we'll make sure to put that in the description for the video. And I encourage everyone to check out what Mark has going on with the West Plains Chamber at westplainschamber.org. And thank you all for listening to this video. I want to give a shout out to our Huckleberry Press advertisers, without whom this wouldn't be happening. So please go pick up a copy of the Huckleberry Press and let our advertisers know that you saw them there. And Mark, I'm learning how to do these videos, so I appreciate you being a partner in that. And I appreciate you being a partner in all the ways that you are. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much for asking. And I think you're doing a great job. Just go do it, and people understand your authenticity and your genuine focus. So thank you.
Brilliant.